Good. Worked. All right. And we're live. All right. Super duper. So, my question to you guys today is, are you making this critical mistake in your detoxification regimen, recommendation, whatever your normal thing that you do to detox? Do you even have a detox regimen that you follow on an annual, maybe twice a year or a quarterly basis? You know, some people do, but a lot of people don't. And we know that there's a lot of things in our food that don't belong in our food, but separate from food, we have a lot of things in our environment that we are absorbing that we don't pay mind to. And we really need to pay attention to these things, because whether we pay mind to it or not, it affects us. Wouldn't you agree, Carol?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So things like, for example, we've talked a little bit about this during our previous broadcast, but are you aware of how much exposure to aluminum the average American has? And I can't speak for other parts of the world, but I can speak for the US because I was born and raised here. And I know that for the majority of my life, up until 2014, we all used toothpaste that was in an aluminum tube. And yet we've known for about 25, 30 years that aluminum is a known neurotoxin. And so now you have toothpaste that you're using to brush your teeth. And even though you don't eat the toothpaste, you don't swallow the toothpaste, but that toothpaste, for that time that it's in that tube, it's absorbing traces of aluminum. And now you go to brush your teeth, that's right on your gums, and that's being absorbed straight from your gums, straight into your brain, which is just inches away. Not a good thing. But that doesn't stop there. It wasn't until 2014 that aluminum tubes for toothpaste was stopped, because the consumers of Tom's toothpaste, an organic toothpaste maker, were clamoring at Tom's toothpaste saying, how can you have organic toothpaste in a tube of toothpaste? How can it be in an aluminum tube when we've known that this is a neurotoxin? We've known this for at least 30 years now. And so then they went ahead and switched over to a recyclable plastic. And then all the other toothpaste makers followed suit, luckily. But that's only one source of exposure to alumina. I'm just going to focus on a few to bring this to your attention, because there are things, there are people that are having all sorts of issues with health, and they're like, well, I kind of, I'm pretty good about my exercise. I drink water and I do eat pretty healthy. I don't understand why I'm having all these things. Well, there are hidden dangers in your midst that you are just unaware of, because it's just not been in your field of awareness until now. Or I'm going to bring this to your field of awareness. So another source of aluminum that no one that I know of talks about, but how many times have you eaten a piece of pie that was baked in an aluminum tin? Well, I don't know about you, but I grew up eating plenty of pies that were baked in aluminum tins, a few of them that were baked in stoneware, and some of them Corningware, but most of them stoneware. But a lot of them, a great majority of them, were baked in tin and pie tins, right? Made of aluminum. How many people have had a drink that's out of an aluminum can? Doesn't matter if it's Coke, Pepsi, 7-Up, Sprite, Crush, Aloha Hawaiian Punch. There's no shortage of drinks, not to mention beers that are in aluminum cans, juices, fruit drinks, waters, even wine nowadays comes in an aluminum can. And that's absorbing the traces of aluminum into the beverage. And now you're drinking that. Starts to accumulate. Now you've got it from the toothpaste, you've got it from, the aluminum beverages. Well, now let's talk about all the take home and all the events that you've gone to where the caterer brought the food in an aluminum tray with an aluminum covering. Now the heat of that food is again absorbing the traces of aluminum from just that container that's there, right? And now you're eating that food. How about food that you have take home? Whether it's a doggy bag or leftovers, you put it in an aluminum container with aluminum covering. It goes on and on and on. How many times have you eaten a baked potato, baked corn, baked turkey, baked ham, baked whatever kind of meat, baked fish, and it's wrapped in aluminum? You had it in your oven or maybe on your it could be that it was done on your barbecue. It was just wrapped in aluminum, right? Anytime you have anything that you're eating or you're applying like toothpaste that you're not necessarily swallowing, you're not necessarily eating it, but it's going inside your mouth. It's being absorbed by your gums and through the walls of your cheeks and your tongue. That's going straight into your brain. Oh my gosh. It goes on and on and on. Not to mention tuna. There's tuna. There's different types of fish that have high traces of not just aluminum, but also mercury, depending on whether they're wild, whether they're farm raised. Do your own research. So you're inadvertently not knowing that you're taking in all these amounts of aluminum. Not to mention there's a lot of people in lots of parts of not the US alone, but even the world where they cook in aluminum cookware. Wow. Kind of alarming if you think about it, because aluminum causes neurocognitive decline. It slows down your brain function. It starts to erode some of the neurons in your brain so that you have trouble with recalling, with thinking, with focus, with mental clarity. People get brain fog. It causes neurocognitive decline. So that's just talking about aluminum. Okay, so let's get off of the aluminum bandwagon, and we can go down all sorts of other different metals, but I think you kind of get the gist just from those things alone that I've talked about. How about, let's talk about cleaning agents that you have in your home. So something as innocuous as laundry detergent. So there is a laundry detergent that has 4 letters in its name, starts with a T. There's another one that has 3 letters and starts with an A. But without pointing too many fingers to any specific manufacturers, I just want you to think about the fact that if you were to look at the laundry detergent and you're thinking, well, it's like, that's my clothes. It's like, I'm just washing it with it. That's not going to harm me. Really? I want you to think about this, because your skin is it's actually the largest organ in the body is the skin, because it covers all your entire body. Your skin is your third kidney. It is a means by which, we call it the third kidney because it is a means by which you can detox. And some people have a lot of skin conditions. They have, all forms of different types of dermatitis and skin irritations and rashes and things like psoriasis, eczema. The list is kind of extensive. There's no shortage of different conditions that you can talk about when it comes to the skin. Any kind of skin eruption is kind of letting you know that, wait a minute, it's above the pay grade of your kidneys, and your liver, because it's not able to get rid of those toxins through urination, which is your kidneys are going to filter as many toxins. About 15% of the toxins go through your kidneys, and then you urinate it out, provided that you have proper hydration. You have to drink enough water. And then defecation is you're going to poop it out because your liver is detoxing about 85% of anything that you eat, that you inhale, that you absorb through your skin by whatever means, whether you inject it, drink it, smell it, smoke it, doesn't matter how it comes into the body. But I want you to think about this. Whatever detergent you're using to wash your clothes, if you have a bunch of things in the ingredients list that you can't pronounce, because usually they're really complicated chemical compounds that you can't pronounce. Many of them are very caustic to the skin. And you're like, what's that doing in my soap? Something to think about. Well, guess what? Now you're wearing clothes that's covering pretty much 90% of your body. For most of us, the only thing that's exposed is our face, our hands. That's usually about it. The rest is all covered with clothing. So that chemical that was used to wash your clothes is now being absorbed through your skin. And it goes into your skin, through your tissues, into the muscles, makes your way, and this accumulated effect of those toxins repeatedly being on your skin. It's not just your clothes. Think about your pajamas. Think about now you've got your pajamas, or if you don't sleep with pajamas, it doesn't matter, because the linens, the sheets, flat sheet, fitted sheet, blankets, all of them you've washed in that detergent. It's covering you. Pretty much your entire body is under all of those covers, right? And now you have all those chemicals that you're absorbing while you sleep. Something to think about. There's so many different sources by which you absorb toxins and you're not even aware of it. Let's talk about also things that you inhale through the air, because we talked about how detergents and how aluminum, how pervasive the aluminum. I didn't even get into people who work in like aluminum awning manufacturers or gun manufacturers, or in places like where industrial complexes where they either recycle metals or there's all sorts of different industrial applications of work environments where you have a high level of particles of different metals that are floating in the air, that not only do you absorb it through the skin, but you're also inhaling it and bringing it into your system through your respiratory system. Yeah, it's kind of alarming, right? So that's two different points of toxins that we're not even getting into foods that are synthetic and are altered through genetic modification, because genetically modified GMO foods, genetically modified organisms, which is GMO food, Monsanto food, that a lot of that is synthetic. And what happens to the human body when it takes in a synthetic, something that is not organic, something that is not just didn't come out of the ground that way? It has all sorts of man-made chemicals that are added to it. Your body turns those into xenoestrogens. Should look it up on the web. Look it up on PubMed. Look it up, Google Scholar. Look it up at whatever reliable source that you can find that will satisfy you. You can find that pretty much anytime you take in something that your body doesn't know what to do with because it doesn't identify it as something that should be in the body, it converts it into a xenoestrogen. You get enough of those going on, the consequences are not good for your body. The good news is that you can detox the body from those things in a pretty simple manner. And of course, I'm a big proponent of detoxing using the organ systems that you already have in place and the natural neurobiophysiology and chemistry that you already have in. Of course, the cell activations patches are going to do that. But let's talk about before we do that, because we can do a both and. So before you even get on the patches, if you're not on the patches yet, there are some things that you can do to unring the bell of toxification of the body, however you took it. Another unknown place that we oftentimes get toxins that people don't think about is our shampoos. There are all sorts of lauryl sulfate, which is really damaging to the body, is really not good. You don't want to be using a shampoo that has lauryl sulfate. But there's also all sorts of SPIKE proteins that they're putting now into shampoos. Imagine that. So you got to be careful, and you have to know how to detox properly. And so one of the easy things that doesn't cost a lot of money, that it's super inexpensive, that's accessible to everyone on the planet, is I love to recommend organic baking soda and regular baking soda. You can get regular, good old Arm & Hammer baking soda. This is not sponsored or anything by Arm & Hammer or that baking soda, or by Costco, because I was about to say at Costco, you can get a 15-pound bag. Big bag, it's about this size, pretty heavy. It's 15 pounds for $8. You can buy a 15-pound of baking soda. And now you go to take a bath, and you can do a detox bath with 2 ingredients. I prefer to do my detox bath with about 4 ingredients, but if we want to keep it super simple, because everybody can remember 2 ingredients, baking soda and Epsom salts, just those 2. You get 2 cups each. Fill up a hot bathtub with hot water, as hot as you can stand it. Put 2 cups of baking soda, 2 cups of Epsom salts, and there's a couple of things that are going to go on. First of all, the baking soda is going to neutralize the acidity in your body, and it's going to pull out the toxins along with the Epsom salts. The baking soda, it's sodium, that's 1 sodium, bicarbonate, that's 2 carbon molecules. The thing to know is that as you're sitting in that hot bath, it's going to pull toxins out of your body, while simultaneously it's going to put into the body magnesium sulfate, which Epsom salts is magnesium sulfate. Magnesium is a wonderful electrolyte that the body needs to move electrolytes in your body, which are electrolytes are just little packets of light information, right? So that's going to go into your body, easily absorbed, and it'll help pull out that combination of Epsom salts and baking soda. Now you release and take in what you need and push out what you don't need. 30-minute detox bath. Not very expensive. Like I said, $8 for a large bag, 15-pound bag, you want to do that because if you're having any kind of issues that you want to detox from, you want to be doing that at least, if it's just maintenance, maybe once a week. If you've got some more things kind of going on, you might need to be doing that 2 to 3 times a week. If you have serious skin issues going on, you might need to be doing this 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah, believe it or not, because you're helping your kidneys and your liver to release those things through your skin. Super, super important. Another thing that you can do as part of detoxification and helping your body kind of to more gently release a lot of these things that are not serving your body, that are toxic in nature, because anything that's toxic in nature is going to take energy away from you. You want to have things that give energy to you, right? I'm noticing I'm having a hair kind of sticking up here. Anyhow, a moment of vanity. So another thing I want to recommend is soda doping. So a lot of you are going, soda doping, what the heck is soda doping? So back to the baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Baking soda is such a wonderful compound. It's a wonderful powder. It's a wonderful thing that we can use for so many things in the house. You can use it to wash, to clean your clothes. You can throw a few cups of baking soda in your laundry to wash your clothes. I do. If you have hard water, which we have really hard water in Huntington Beach and Newport Beach, unbelievably hard water, and all sorts of, if you were to look at the water report, maybe one of these days I should pull up the water report in Huntington Beach. I think you guys might be horrified to see everything that we have in the water. It's like, not good. Plus, you want to soften the water, get rid of some of that stuff, and you can do that with baking soda. So looking at baking soda, you can use that also as an agent where you take, in order to do soda doping, we've done this for about 50, 60 years because Olympic athletes do this all the time, where they'll take 10 ounces of room temperature water, spring water, not reverse osmosis water, not distilled water, not purified water. We're talking good quality spring water, water that has minerals in it, water that's alive, right? And so you take that water, 10 ounces, put it in a glass. Room temperature, can't be cold because otherwise the baking soda won't dissolve. It needs to be room temperature. You also want your body to absorb and to assimilate it as easily and effortlessly as possible. So you take that water and now you take half a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. Oh, tastes horrible if you do a tablespoon. You just need half a teaspoon. Then you mix it in 10 ounces of water and you keep mixing until it's clear. Once the water is no longer milky and white and it's turned clear, you know it's ready and good to go. Now you just simply drink that on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and you drink that before you go to bed at night. And that's not a long-term use thing. That's not something that you're going to do. It's not like brushing your teeth where you're going to do it every day for the next year. No, 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 no. That's something that you just temporarily do as you are doing a detox regimen. You might do it for the next 7 days, maybe 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Pay attention to your body and how it feels. Your body is the best indicator, because again, that is alkalizing your body. As you drink that water, it's offsetting any of the high levels of acidity that you have in your body. And that carbon from the sodium bicarbonate that's in the baking soda is going to bind with the toxins that you have in your body. And now you're going to urinate it and defecate it out much more easily because of that taking in of that soda doping. So with that being said, we are going to jump into the rest of this. And of course, part of detoxification, those are things that no matter where you are, you can run to Sprouts or Whole Foods or Mother's Market. If you're in California, we have about 10 of those markets throughout Southern and Northern California. I don't know. I know that the rest of the country doesn't have Mother's Markets, but I'm sure you have organic, like more clean type food providers throughout the country. So you can also order, of course, baking soda. If you're looking at doing the soda doping, I would use organic baking soda as opposed to the Arm & Hammer. For the bath, I think that's okay to do that. But when it comes to whenever I do soda doping, I buy Red Mills. Again, this is not sponsored. I don't have any program sponsors on my YouTube channel, not right now. But for organic baking soda, there's a brand called Red Mills. They make all sorts of different flours and, almond flour, coconut flour, the list is kind of endless, but they also make an organic baking soda, and it's a little bag. It's about, I think, a 1 pound bag or half a pound bag. And you can get that usually like at Sprouts, and Whole Foods carry it. And you can also order it through Amazon. So I would encourage you guys to use that for your soda doping, and then for your baths. Then of course you can either spring for the more expensive organic baking soda or just use the Arm & Hammer 15-pound bags. You can get those at Costco, either in person or online, have that delivered to you. All right. When I can, so piggybacking and moving on, taking it a step and a notch up, so to speak, when it comes to detoxing, really the coup de grace, the epitome of efficient detoxification is when you can activate a third of your previously dormant stem cells. Just the mother cell activation patch, this patch, the X39, which the sleeve, which is an envelope, looks like this. This is going to increase your natural glutathione levels by 30%. It's a pretty good amount of increase. So it's going to begin to purge. Glutathione's role in the body is your master antioxidant to detoxify the body. It's also your master antioxidant to increase your immune system. So as your body is detoxing not only from toxins, but as far as your immune system's concerned, germs, viruses, and bacteria are toxins, especially if they don't belong in the body. If you have microorganisms that belong there, then that's, that's friendly, bacteria and so forth. But there are plenty that are foreign invaders that don't belong in there, that come in, that are very parasitic in nature. So this is going to help to detox that. And so we have the mother cell activation patch that will do that for you. If you want to up the ante, we actually have a glutathione patch that will increase your original glutathione levels from conception. It'll increase it anywhere from 300 to 600% based on whatever your original blueprint was. It'll, boom, turn that on. And if you were to have started this morning wearing, let's say, the mother cell activation patch along with the glutathione patch, now you're going to have 300 to 600% higher levels of glutathione, which is going to help basically reset your body by getting rid of any toxins and boosting your immune system to fight off whatever germs, viruses, and bacteria, or any toxins that you've received by whatever means. It's going to go ahead and purge it from the body. Does that make sense? All right, let me check really quick here on YouTube, see if we have anybody with any kind of questions right now. Okay, so moving on. So let's talk about cellular activation, and we are going to share. I'm missing. Wait a minute, where is this? Get close. Well, I'll be darned. I think my presentation accidentally closed. We're going to show this one instead. All right. So here we go. Share screen. Oh, here it is. That's kind of odd. This is called OE, operator error. I have both of them up, but it should show this. Okay, let me see if I can get this to share properly. Oh, here it is. Well, it doesn't, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, there, it finally loaded. Okay. All righty. So we like to kind of be light and airy about this, saying that we've figured out what we want to do or what we want to be when we get older. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to be younger rather than older. So we want to be younger when we continue to grow. And with each passing day, the truth of the matter is, even babies are older every day. We're all older every day. Just because we're older doesn't mean we have to be biologically older. We can still retain our youth and our vitality and even reverse age if we do the proper things to take care of ourselves, right? And we want to look vibrant, feel great. We want to enjoy life as we age. And my question to you is, what if you could change your trajectory of aging? And instead of, if you're someone in your 20s and your 30s, wouldn't it be cool to kind of hit the pause button where you halt any aging? And so that as you move into your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s, you still look like you're in your 30s and not like you're in your 50s. Some people, when they hit 40 or 50, they already look that age, or sometimes they look much older than their age. What if you could change that trajectory of aging? And what if you could be a younger, more youthful version of yourself? Well, I'm here to tell you that's actually possible. Let's talk about this gal, Allie. She's in her early 30s. She lives a very healthy lifestyle. She's a yogini. She loves travel and yoga. She's noticing changes already in her early 30s, that she can't stay up all night partying. She's already having that issue. Some people don't, but some people do. And she's concerned about staying youthful and energetic and, being as fit and as fabulous as she possibly can be. She's starting to feel more job pressure at this point, and she's anxious certain days, but she doesn't like drugs, so she doesn't like to take anything to take that edge of whatever anxiousness, which is why she practices yoga. And she's looking for, wow, what can I do? How can I make it better, right? And here we have Stacy, who she's in her late 40s. She's actually just recently turned 50. She lives a healthy lifestyle. She's always been into fitness. She's into her family, teaching, loves to travel. She does travel quite a bit. She feels amazing. She's been doing detoxes since she was liver cleanses, parasite cleanses since she was 18 years old. She's just a fitness queen. And she's focused on prevention. Longevity is a top priority. Always learning new ways to stay healthy, and vitality and overall wellness. You want to just be as the optimal version of you, right? And then we have this next person, Carla, who's in her mid-50s, and she loves being active. She loves her granddaughter. She's noticing some changes, though, and she's noticing that she's got a lot more aches and pains. She's getting more fatigued. She's gaining weight, inexplicably so, not sleeping well. She's got some back pain, looking and feeling older. And she goes to her doctor. Her doctor has very few answers for her. And he just replies, yeah, you're just getting a little older. We can run tests. We can, of course, prescribe things for whatever your symptoms are. And she's really concerned about, well, will I ever look and feel younger again? Well, as is, if she doesn't change anything, of course not. But with cellular activation patches, you can actually look and feel younger, and not just mask symptoms, but repair, restore, reverse the damage, regenerate your body to a younger, healthier state. And so then we have Ben. We've got this gentleman who's in his mid-60s. He loves being active, loves running and hiking. He's really looking forward to retirement, being able to travel, but he's noticing some changes. He's like, wait a minute, I used to not have any aches or pains, and now he's got more and more aches and pains, and his libido is decreasing. That's very disconcerting. Not sleeping so great, and he has knee pain. His stamina is starting to wane, and it's ebbing. And it's just taking him longer to recover from that activity of running and hiking. So he's really concerned about heart disease, and is like, maybe there's something going on with my heart that I'm unaware of. He's concerned about prescription meds. He's been told that he might need a possible knee replacement, and he doesn't want to have a knee replacement. And he's wondering if he's even going to be very mobile when he retires, which is right around the corner. It's not like it's a long distance, many years away thing. Now it's just, a few years away. Then a friend of his asked, hey, have you heard about this patch? What do you know about cell activation? Has anyone told you about these patches? And he's like, no, tell me more. And so the thing to know is that your master smart cells, they decline as you age, and you are born with a full set when at conception, you have 23,688 genes and master smart cells that are going to form you in your mother's womb, grow you into from an embryo to a fetus to a newborn baby. Fast forward to 30 years of age, and 50% of those master smart cells, they don't disappear. They're not damaged. They're not destroyed. They simply go dormant when you're 30 years old. And for every decade, you go from 50 to 60, 70, 80% turn off. By the time you're 60, 90% turn off. And you have 10% left that have been there from conception to age 60. And that's going to take you to the finish line till you take your last breath. Until, of course, until you activate your original master smart cells, right? And what does that do? That helps you to repair, restore, and regenerate your body much quicker, rather than being on the timeline with only 10% of those master smart cells, so that you continually age more and more. Because one of the reasons why people age so much faster after the age of 60 is because you only have 10% of those original smart cells left. And so what about using injections for this master smart cell to turn and activate those on? Well, those are expensive, as you know. They're very painful. They're not always effective. You got to take the good with the bad, because if you're taking donor cells, you got to know that you've got the plus side of a young donor cell. However, whatever's in their genetic makeup that's not positive, because nobody has 100% perfect genes, right? You're going to take the good with the bad. You don't know if you're going to activate something that maybe you might want to leave dormant. That's a gamble that you take. About 50% of the people can accept those donor cells, 50% of the people reject it. So you have at best a 50-50 chance that whatever you're spending, because you got to spend the money and you got to spend, the energy of that painful procedure, 50-50 chance that it's going to benefit you and it'll work. There are possible side effects, and there's no guaranteed results. There's no guarantees of anything in life. I can't guarantee that I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. Neither can you. No one can guarantee anything. We know that the probability is pretty high, but some people are not going to wake up tomorrow morning for whatever reason. Okay. So there's no guarantees. But what if there was an affordable alternative? Would you, could you, should you, might you want to try? Would you be interested? When Dr. Normala told me about this, it was a resounding yes. So this is all possible because our scientist, he's not a doctor, he doesn't write prescriptions, but he's our scientist, David Schmidt. He's a visionary scientist, inventor. He's the founder. He's the one who invented these patches originally for the Navy SEALs. He developed this phototherapy energy technology back in 2004, is when this became available to the public. The mother cell activation patch just became available 4 years ago in 2019. But the company launched, and he created this originally for the Navy SEALs. And in 2004, this was made available to the public. So it's been 20 years that this has been available, but it's really been a massive quantum leap in terms of the results that we've seen that people have been getting is once he invented this mother cell activation patch. And he has developed a whole line, a whole suite of phototherapy products and patches. And we have about 11 different types of patches. We have laboratories and manufacturing in California and Ireland. We're in over 82 countries. We just recently opened in Korea in February. We have 15 global distribution centers throughout the globe and 8 global offices. So this is a patented, we have global, don't know if you understand the magnitude of that, but we have 120 global patents in 82 countries. I don't know of any other inventor or any other company that has that. This is a wearable patch technology. It uses very specific, very precise wavelengths of light to activate your original cells in the body without injections. It's safe, no drugs, non-invasive, non-transdermal. We have over 80 clinical independent studies with double-blind placebo subjects. We have anywhere from 50 to 120 subjects in every one of the studies. This reduces pain and inflammation and speeds wound healing and reparation and tissue repair. So here are a few people you could see here from this from the pictures here, the before and afters of several of the people on here. We have this gentleman who 8 weeks after starting on the patches, you can see he's got a more youthful appearance to himself, a little bit darker mustache than before, and also the beard's a little bit darker as well. This lady, in just 4.5 months from day 1 to day 30 to 4.5 months later, she has a much more rejuvenated look on her face. This gentleman, he was working on rafters. This is something that happens pretty often, unfortunately, to firefighters, but he was working on rafters and he fell through the ceiling. He broke 6 ribs, punctured his lung, horrible accident, was in extreme pain. He was they told him to expect recovery would take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. He was back to work in just 3 short weeks. You can see here in 6 days how all this bruising, which is just blood that has dried up under the skin, how it was absorbed and purged from his body in just 6 days, which is really unprecedented. And here by June 30th, so from June 17th to June 30th, that's 13 days. He's almost completely well. Really quite fascinating. All right, this lady who had radiation treatments, not looking too happy, not too well here at the beginning. And you can see here that just from June 6th, not even a full 30 days, look at the difference on her from beginning to June 23rd. That's really amazing to me. So it's expediting the recovery after her radiation treatments. Here we have a lady who had some brain scans done, 77 years old. She had a lot of inflammation all around her brain. And in session 2, after wearing the patches, you can see how she has no inflammation left. Session 3, even less inflammation left. Pretty significant. Decreased brain inflammation. She had significant improved memory, focus, and cognitive brain function. That means cognitive brain function has to do with your understanding of what you hear, what you see, what you read. And this was all possible because we were increasing GHK2 copper peptide, which supports cellular regeneration and nerve regeneration inside the body. So people sleep better, they have more energy. Here we have a gentleman who, because his knees were in so much better shape after being regenerated, he had faster recovery thanks to the patches. He was able to climb another 14,000-foot peak. That was 4 years since he was able to climb because of his knee. And now that his knee was repaired, he's doing much better. And this was back in 2021. Shortly after, again, the patches, the X39, the mother cell activation patch, became available in 2019. So the word's gotten out. We have all these different athletic, we've got everything from Serena Williams to Michael Phelps, of course, and David Beckham, and a lot of other high-profile athletes. But I think, to me, nothing is more powerful when people like you and myself, we experience it, and people that we know experience these benefits. To me, that is just like life-altering. So what if you could be a younger, more youthful you? Is that even possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible. When Carol started on the patches last August, she could barely get around her house. She had all sorts of different things kind of going on between the heart condition that she had and the shingles that she had going on. Just 2 weeks ago, she was dirt bike riding. Oh my gosh, she no longer has AFib. We don't make medical claims, but she no longer has AFib. And she is much better, much more energized, has gained her weight back. Huh, Carol? You want to chime in, Carol? I think she'll turn her mic on here in a bit, but she's like giving us a thumbs up. So you get stem cell activation. So these are turning back on your master smart cells. You got greater energy, greater mental clarity, faster wound healing. Yes, you can look younger. I have less. I didn't know that I was not aware when I started that I had crow's feet, but when I compare my before and afters, you can definitely see that I had some before and I don't have as much now. Your muscle, your bone, your tissue, your nerve regenerate, and you do get deeper, sounder, much better quality sleep than before, without a shadow of a doubt. If anything were possible, what is the one thing you might choose to experience differently with your health? Have you thought about writing down, okay, if I could these are, you might want to take a second right now as you're watching this broadcast, maybe take a piece of paper, take a notebook and just write down, okay, these are the things that are, I've got this aches and pains. These are the half dozen things that I have that are going on that are kind of bothering me head to toe. Just kind of do a scan from the top of your head. Maybe you want improved eyesight. Maybe you want better quality textured hair. I know I did because I had dry, coarse, brittle hair before. I was on the patches because I was in an accident where I got brain damaged and I had a neck and back and leg injury and everything got out of whack. And I had all sorts of, all my chemistry was completely whacked after that and lost half my hair, had a bald spot, had multiple bald spots, but the biggest one had one above my ear, one of the back of my head. The one in my ear had already grown back before I got on the patches, but the point of impact, nothing would make that thing grow back. It was just until I got on the patches, and now I have soft, smooth, silky hair, total game changer. Very, very, very big difference because I used to spend a lot of time and money. And every time I would go to the hairdresser, I was always having them do moisture, deep masks, spending all this extra money trying to moisturize my hair. Didn't really make that big of a difference, to be honest with you. On the patches, I don't have to put anything in my hair anymore. I just wash my hair, condition it, style it, put a little shining agent on there, and that's it. I don't do any of those treatments anymore. I don't really need to. So that's a game changer. So you can go directly to our site. For those of you who are wondering, did I have in the previous here asking? Anyhow, for those of you who are wondering, how much is this? Does this cost an arm and a leg? Is this $1 million? No, for the price of a cup of coffee, like this is $5 a day. So 5 times 30 is basically $150. So $149.95. That's a 1 month supply. So you can see here that you can get the mother and the daughter. Do I have? Yeah, the mother and the daughter cell activation patch for $300, or we can get you 4 for the price of 2 when we put you on a brand partner or a doctor wholesale pack. Just get back to the person who referred you to this video and they can answer whatever questions you have and get you started. We can customize your package for whatever your needs are. So that's basically it. I want to make sure you get back to the person who invited you, get your questions answered. And I would say, it says here to commit for 90 days, but really, even a bad habit takes 90 days. Your whole body, without being on cellular activation, takes about 7 years without being on the patches for all of the 56 trillion cells to turn over, to the tune of 2 billion turnover a day. Once you get on this cellular activation, you have 33% additional cellular activation. So now things happen much, much faster. So over the next 12 months, which is what I tell people, it's like, just commit for the next 12 months getting on this. After that, you can, when you no longer want to reverse age and regenerate things and detoxify your body, then you stop whenever you no longer want to get that benefit. But at least now you've basically cleaned up quite a bit. And, we live in a world that's far more toxic than our parents or our grandparents lived in. We have a lot more LED lights. They didn't have 5G, 4G, 3G. We have 5G. We're going to blink and before you know it, you have 6G. We have a lot of radiation. We have all sorts of things that are toxins. And so we need to help our bodies purge those things out. And this is a great way to do it. All right, my friends and gems. Carol, do you want to chime in anything or?
No, I do have a quick question, just a simple question. The Zoom keeps disappearing, so that's why I have this one.
Oh, so you said you had a question.
This question came up with someone that asked if I would ask you. The question about eyes, and their eyes are bothering them. They kind of hurt, and where should they put a patch, or what patches would be good to use, or what could you respond to that?
So anything pertaining to the eye, I would say first of all, you want to point to wherever it is, if you have eye pain, it's like deep inside the eye. It's a very uncomfortable, very painful, very excruciating experience. So you want to surround the eye with the patches. So I would say, the temple. So we have the mother cell activation patch. You can put the cell activation patch. You could put that on your temple. I would say the mother, you could do the daughter. You can have two patches side by side above here. And even on your temple, you could have one above the other or one side by side here as well. I would say, around the eye, sometimes even below the eye on the sinus. You have a lot of people, I think, know this, that you have right next to your nose, you have a cavity called a sinus here, and you have sinuses here. But that's all around these are called orbits. Zygomatic, this is the zygomatic bone around your eye. So surrounding the eye with those patches, I think that's always a good idea. Your glutathione is very critical for eye wellness, as is 39 and 49. It's possible if you have inflammation in that area, the Eon patch, which not only manages inflammation, but it also balances the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. So surrounding that area is important. And it's your choice. You can, depending on the level of pain that you have, you might want to have the majority of these, like you wear them all day, and then at night you don't have any patches. But if you feel that you need like 24/7 coverage, you could split up like the 39 and 49 and put those on the temple and above your eye, and maybe the Eon patch here. And then you could wear glutathione and carnosine. You could wear those at night, glutathione and carnosine, or glutathione and carnosine. That will work as well too. Again, you're just surrounding that eye to give as much relief as possible. Yeah. Okay.
Fabulous. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's good. I'll pass that along, and it's good for me too. So it's good information.
It's good for all of us. You never know. Yeah. And I tell people, trust yourself, because if you feel instinctively that you're like, oh, you know what, I'm kind of feeling like I need to put this particular patch in this spot, don't let your left brain talk you out of it. Follow that first instinct that you have of wearing the patch. Maybe instead of above this eye, you kind of feel like you should put it on your third eye during the day, like I did the other day. I never do that, but I kind of felt to do that. And it was the X39, the mother cell activation patch. Because at night, we have one that activates your pineal gland and your epithelium and peptide, the Alavita patch. I wear that one every night with carnosine here. But that particular day, I was led to put it right here. And who knows what was going on in my body, that my body was saying, just put it there. So I just did.
Right.
Now, normally I'm too vain to do that, but that day I really felt my intuition saying, just put it there. I'm like, okay, I'll just put it there. And I wore it pretty much there the rest of the day. So, but that's a personal choice. And listen to your body's intelligence, because your body doesn't have to make sense to you. That's the one thing we think that it has to make sense, and your body's like, no, it doesn't have to make sense. Just follow that inner guidance, because it's usually 99.9% right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for that.
All righty.
That's good. That's like when I went on my 10-mile walk, which I had getting patches on, I came back to life. But what I noticed was, I was walking. This is in the woods, and so I noticed as I walked, I just walked slowly and went over logs and stuff like that, very simply, and noticed the comfort started in my feet and my legs, and maybe one leg or the other leg started behaving like it was 20 years young instead of 84. Just it gradually, and I didn't pay any attention to it because I knew there was the possibility with the stem cell, with the cells waking up, of anything happening. I didn't try to pin it down. But by the time I finished that 10-mile walk, my entire body was very energized, blood flowing, nerves happy in all directions, my hands, everything. So wow. I this is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And so, it's funny, because if you would have had the thought, oh, let me do a 10-mile walk, it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense for you to even try to do a 10-mile walk. So instead, you just followed the intuitive guide. It's like you had the urge to go take a walk. So I'm like, okay. And because you were not planning on doing a 5 or a 10-mile walk, you didn't take any water with you. So you just went. And as you felt better, like, I'm just going to keep going. And I'm like, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep going. And then before you knew it, you had completed a 10-mile walk. You're like, oh my gosh, I did 10 miles. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you followed that intuitive, your body intelligence, your body obviously wanted the circulation, it wanted the fresh air, it wanted the sunlight, it wanted you to be in the negative, you have negative ions with all the greenery that's around of you there where you live in Washington. So your body obviously needed that, and your body obviously could perform that. And so look at you, you did 10 miles. Oh my gosh. And you're just in your 7th month of being on the patches because you started in August, and here we are at the beginning of April. So that's like, wow, that's pretty awesome. Does it make sense? No, but it's an awesome result. And you honored your own body's inner intelligence. And so it's very cool.
Well, what I liked was listening to your talks. I've gotten on your Zoom calls regularly as much as possible. And that has been it's been a big help to me to remember, even though I've done healthy things for years.
Yeah,
It's that remembering that, okay, you're doing something. Don't try to figure it out. Lillian's already talked about it. You've learned about it. Now I'm having the experience. So just enjoy it.
yeah.
Just keep walking. And I didn't have water with me like we should have, but I didn't intend to. But it was just opened up beautifully. So
Beautiful.
thanks for these Zoom calls.
You're very welcome. I love doing them. So that's a beautiful way to wrapping up. It's almost like a beautiful red bow that we're putting on this broadcast with what you shared with us, Carol. So I want to thank you. You're my beautiful friend and gem, and you're my official co-host, because I feel that we are able to, like bookends, we're able to really bring value to our viewers and to our listeners. So you guys have a great evening. I hope you enjoyed the information about detoxing at the beginning of the broadcast. If you have any questions, I would love to answer whatever questions you have. Let me know where in the world you are watching this from. And if there's any detox questions, because sometimes people ask me, it's like, oh, do you have a recommended liver cleanse? Do you have a gallstone cleanse? Do you have a parasite cleanse? Yeah, I have all sorts of different cleanses. I have certain go-tos that I like to refer people to. I'd love, absolutely adore to respond to you in that manner. Like I said, whether you decide to get on the patches, of course, everyone can benefit from being on the patches, but not everybody wants to do that. But for those of you that this resonates, then, you can go down to asking me about whatever it is that you've got going on, or anything having to do with detoxing. And for those of you, I should share with you, I will be speaking for 4 days, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th in Los Angeles at the Sonesta Hotel. They're having the Biomed Expo. Of all the PhDs and the doctors that are there, I'm the only one who will be speaking all 4 days. I will share with you my topics so that you see my topics that I'm going to be talking about. I will share that with you. Let me see. I should probably put my glasses so I'm not kind of squinting here. I need to share you. Some people were asking me the other days, what are your talks on? And here is, share my screen with you. These are the 4 talks that I'm going to be giving right here. So on day 1, Thursday, I'll be talking at 3:30 p.m. on how to boost your energy organically. Presentation 2 will be on how to detox your body organically. Presentation 3 on Saturday will be unlocking the body's potential, exploring the frontier of stem cell activation. And the last day on Sunday, I will be talking about the same thing, unlocking the body's potential, exploring the frontier of stem cell activation. All right, my friends and gems, you can take a shot of that. That's going to be Biomed. You can go to biomedexpo.com for tickets. If you're a doctor or a holistic care practitioner, you can get up to 40% off. Just contact me, let me know, and I'll send you the code for that so that you can get in and listen to all the talks with 40% off. Professional courtesy. All right, that's it. It's a wrap. Enjoy your evening.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Ciao for now, my friend and Jim. To everyone.